that breathing technique helped me out a lot.
Yeah, I'm just recording you now. But no, just keep going.
Just keep going up on singing?
Yeah, talking about whatever.
So, I don't know. That was really sad. I honestly felt bad. I was like,
yeah,
that's too bad, because I really thought she was going to take off with the singing. And I saw she had her own album. And her name is on the song, but she just singing background. So I didn't understand that. She trying real hard.
And you gotta give it to her. I give it to her. I'm not mad at her. She got the drive. God bless you. But you have to have some morals about yourself and what you're doing, and you need to put some rules in place. I don't give a damn how bad you want to perform at the Bob Marley Festival. Your child is fucking sick. You need to be there to take care of the child.
And she performed at the Bob Marley Festival?
Not the Bob Marley Festival. I'll take it back. Some other festival. Because she didn't perform at Bob Marley Festival this year. But it was some other festival where she was doing background with this artist that she really admired or liked. But Nahara, was getting sick. That's in the hospital. And I'm sorry, man. You have a child. I'm sorry. You have a child. She was saying that a lot of the musicians don't want to work with Asha because Asha will bring her children to rehearsal.
Yeah.
Well, right on for her. Right on. You know what that means? She's a mother.
First and foremost.
And
Asha can sing.
And she fine as hell.
Yeah.
And she can dance.
That's too bad.
But she's. But anyway, I mean, she is where she is. She's a mother. She understands that. Yeah. And if these other guys want to get pissed off about that, well, then that's too bad for them. But this other one, Pat. Well, I'm not gonna let nothing stop me.
How did she wrestle? Oh, that's what she says.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let nobody, stop me from doing that, and that's why they don't want to work with her, because she's unreliable. She bringing her children to rehearsal. Well, isn't that what it's
That's
about?
what my friend told me when he went to go see them perform at this restaurant around the street, around the corner from my house, that the baby kept crying while she was performing.
Yeah.
And nobody could comfort him and stuff like that. And I was thinking to myself, that's too bad, because if I was there, I would have just taken him. And even if he wouldn't have sat there, I would walk them around the block while she sang.
Block or something, But I mean, she's a mother first, man. She's a mother first, and when you have children, everything else take the back seat. I don't care if it's your dream. I don't care if it's going to school. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I don't care. You're a mother.
First.
I'm not gonna let them. Well, baby, you 36 years old. All them dreams you wanted to make, that's it. That's it. The rest of your life is them damn children. Period, man. I wanted to do this. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to. Well, I wanted it's over. You said no to all I wanted is when you laid down when you were 16 years old with your fast ass and had sex with that boy. And had that child. All your I wanna went right into that vagina along with that sperm.
She had plenty of other chances, trust me. But
all the I wannas. And then you got with the other guy. And the other boy. Another I wanna go. And then you decided to get married, which is righteous, right on. And then you fucked that up. Now you still sitting here talking about you wanna. Ain't no you wanna. You got 5 children now. I wanna. Sitting up there going out there and hanging out with these men all time of night and everything. And I'm the fool, don't even see all that. I'm the fool that's not even paying attention to it. I'm the fool that's like, well, she's just going after her dream. I'm the fool, okay, she care and it's all good. Because I'm so blinded by my love for her or whatever. I'm so blinded by wanting to do for her. You know, and you know, and all of my work and all my effort has got me to this point where I'm fucking balling and left with memories and images of things that were not real. A bunch of phantoms. A bunch of phantoms. Things that were not real at all. A whole year of my life was caught up in a dream. The entire year. And that, I think, to me, that is the thing that just bothers me so much. The thing that just makes me feel so bad. You know, if I'm going to get used, let me know I'm being used. I'm not going to feel bad about being used. The fact that I'm being used and I don't know it and I think it's all good, I mean, it's just, I mean, no one likes that, but to me, that was just so devastating because I thought that this girl really loved me. I thought that she really cared about me.
Why did you think that?
I thought that because I guess because I wanted to think that.
Because I think of anything that she did.
I mean, she would just talk to me and be like, we would talk about having a future and being married and you know, because I was getting to that point, man. I was like, you know what? If this thing lasts a year, I'm gonna put a ring on her finger. Because that's where I am right now in my life. I want to have a committed relationship. I'm done with playing the field. I played the field enough for 5 dudes. Like, for real.
But I'm saying, other than the talk about what could be, what about in the moment, watching her, was she doing things that you're like, man, that's the kind of woman I want. She a woman that does this, a woman that does that.
When we would talk about like working together in the theater, when we actually tried to work together and putting things together for the theater, when she went with me to Tampa to meet, my sister became part of this millionaires type club, elite club. I invited Pat to come with us.
Your sister's a millionaire?
No, she's not a millionaire,
okay.
But this club can help you get there.
Okay.
You know, it's a key club, something like that in
okay.
Tampa. And they invited me. You know, like, well, let me invite my girl. It's my birthday. I was like, hey, you know, and how she worked the room with some of the people. And I'm like, oh yeah, shit, this is all good. I think we can work together. This is somebody I can build with. We having fun. We go into the mall. You know, we're talking. We're having a good time.
Where are the kids when you're doing all this?
Where were the kids? I don't know where the hell. I think they were with your mom or somebody. I think I can't remember who they were with. Because this was just like a weekend thing. I think they were probably, they were with you, I think. If it was a weekend thing, they were with you. They were with you, yeah. Because you get them in the weekend. And my birthday last year was on a Friday.
When's your birthday?
November 3rd. Yeah, they were with you at that time. And so, you know, I'm like, man, this girl is fun. I think I could do things with her. All right, I love you.
And that was the most fun you'd ever had with her?
No,
there was something special about that particular fun?
I think what I got out of that is just I felt like a certain closeness with her. I actually, to me, I thought, oh man, I'm really bonding with somebody that not only likes me. I've been involved with women who like me, but not like, oh, okay, let's plan together. Let's do this together. Let's form a company. I'll work with you on your company together. You know, somebody that actually want to be in my life for a long period of time. So I thought, for the right reasons. But she was only doing that just so that she could, you know, come out winning in the end herself. Not so much wanting to build with me and we build and have something together. No. It's about her helping me build this so that she could get her cut.
What makes you think that?
And just fuck around. Well, now that I think about it in retrospect, she knows that I'm going to be successful. She knows that I'm going to do great things. She knew that then. And so she's like, well, fuck it. I'll just help him build. And probably sometime within the marriage or whatever it is, I'll take him for half. Half his house, his car, his children, and his sanity.
No, she takes all of that. Yo, check it. So, when you were watching her help you build your company, the work that was being done, she was really working hard? You saw her really?
No, not really. No, not really. I mean, hey, I came up with all the ideas and everything with the Showers of Richard and stuff like that.
She was like a gopher, and she would do whatever you needed.
No, not really. She would just offer suggestions here and there. Like at the Key Club party, you know, she would say, don't say when you have your company. Say your company, you have it. It's already there. I'm like, okay. She would tell me different
But no
things.
actual footwork. No
actual footwork. Like you were saying, oh, I thought she put in $1,000. No, that girl gave me $75 that I already had in the bank. Or I could have gotten in a couple of days to incorporate the name. Because that's what you have to do. You have to incorporate the name.
Right.
And so she just lent me that. Lent me 75 bones. Shit, I'd give her the 75 bones back right now. I don't give a shit.
I just wondered. I was just like, okay, because I wonder what the allure is, you know, like, because I know even though I was married to her for 7 years, I was not allured by her, you know. I just in my mind saw somebody that needed help and stuff like that, but I always saw through, because right before we got married, and I mean right before we actually tied the knot, I hated her. I did not want to be with her at all, and I only stayed because of Sayana, and she knew that. You know, we talked about that. As a matter of fact, if you see pictures of me on my wedding day, when I say my wedding day, I mean like when we went to the courthouse, because we had a wedding afterwards. I was miserable. Even her brother walked out of the courthouse and looked at me, and he goes, "See you?" He goes, "I married out of Haitian. You married into Haitian." We're passing it right there. And she was smiling. And I'm just miserable. Like, what the fuck did I just do?
She told me that, I think it was during the wedding or whatever it is, that y'all fought.
Yeah, the day of the wedding, we fought.
Over what? What do you remember?
Over the way, because we were supposed to have, okay, by this time now, I guess at some point, I don't know when, I set my mind to making it work, because I was married now. And so we were planning the wedding, but the whole time I kept talking to my mother. I was like, and my sister too. I was like, she doesn't love me, you know. And they were like, oh, you know. My sister would be like, leave her. Oh, but she has a baby. And my mother would be like, oh, you're just talking nonsense. She loves you. You sound like your father. Your father used to say the same thing about me. And I would just I'm telling you, it was years ago, but it seemed like every day I would be telling my mother, this woman does not love me. And I was very frustrated about that, you know, very upset about that. But when it came down to the wedding, we had decided that we were going to have, you know, me, a private wedding. And we discussed it, and she said, yeah, we're going to have a private wedding. We're just going to be me, her, one of her best friends, one of my best friends, and the guy that was going to marry us. And then afterwards, we could have a reception where we would invite everybody. But I just wanted it to be us. And I was supposed to get the photographer. I had a friend that was a photographer, and I was supposed to get him. And I dragged my feet on that. I admit it. I don't remember why, but I did. And she was mad about that. But her and her mom just like took over that wedding. You know, they pretty much planned everything, and it was nothing like we had discussed at all. So that's what we pretty much were fighting about with the wedding that I can recall. And probably me just fighting about how much I just couldn't stand her, you know. She was 6 months pregnant at the time. And yeah, so pretty much that was it. We fought until the ride to go to the actual spot to say our vows, and then somehow or another I was all enchanted and in love again, I guess.
Wow.
And I remember ooh, I don't even know if I should say that on camera, but I remember that She didn't even write her vowels. She didn't have any vowels, but I had written some vowels. But I wrote the vowels on the way there, and I'm just like a natural. When it comes to writing, I'm just a natural. You know, it just comes naturally to me. So I had actually written the vowels on like a little napkin or something. And she didn't notice on the way there, and I acted as if I had it written up, you know, weeks or months beforehand, you know. And I memorized it. I managed to memorize it on the way there. You know, I'm just, when it comes to stuff like that, I'm just good. I would do that all through school. You know, they tell me to write, and I just never appreciated the value of my talent, you know, to write. I just thought it was, for some reason, I thought that writing wasn't going to get me anywhere. You know, you had to get a real job, you know. Even though my teachers would laud me. But anytime it comes time to do an assignment, man, I would just write. And it would be like, it would be the example for the class. And I would have written it in class, whereas everybody else would have been home doing their homework. I would sit there while everybody's preparing. I would write it out, 3 pages, have it knocked, or a page, you know, a regular essay. And I'm thinking, it's just gonna get me by. And by the end of that week, my teacher would be like, everyone look at Sean's paper. This is how you write a paper. And I would be sitting there. Yeah. So, anyways, I was just good at that. So I remember I wrote my vowels. Made it seem like I memorized it, and I said the vowels. I remember saying the vowels before the guy that married us, who was actually the leader of my Bible study, and he was crying when he heard them, and I was just like, what? You know, I was just saying it. You know, it's not really. I was just saying it. You know. But anyways, after that, you know, I think after the wedding, things cooled down. We were getting along. But that's the reason why we fought the day of my wedding. And my whole family was against me. Oh, you need to stop pushing that girl, you know, you keep pushing her, she's gonna push back, you know, just being mean to her. And
that's
all that
amazing.
stuff. But I just really felt like she didn't love me. But I guess I was kind of hypocritical to say. Right. Because by that time I didn't love her either, you know. Wow. So I kinda hated her, so. Yeah, because I saw her for what she really was, you know, God. And I was like, I can't live with this woman, you know. But I was like, but the prospect of being a weekend dad just killed me, because I had vowed that I would not be what my father was to me, and I knew I wasn't gonna be that, you know. He wasn't even a weekend dad, but even just being a weekend dad was not enough. I had to be in my kid's life. So I thought I was willing to put up with her, and I really thought that I could change her. And I really thought that as long as I'm loving and caring, compassionate, considerate, respectful, and all those things, with a man of integrity, that it would be reciprocated.
What about all that stuff about you not being there in the marriage? She felt alone. She would, you know what she would. Alone.
I cannot explain that, because that's her. That's an internal experience, you know. So I don't know what caused her to feel that way. It could have been anything, you know. But I know that from my point of view, I remember that what would happen is, like, I would spend a lot of time with the family, because you see how at that time when we met, I was working a weekend shift, so I would work 3 12-hour shifts. So I was only gone from Friday to Sunday, and the rest of the week I'm home, and she's home because she ain't working. So we spend all our time together, you know. And I remember that what would happen is she would literally say to me, "You spend too much time at home, and we don't have enough money. You need to go out and make money." And when I would then preoccupy myself with that, because it reached a point where, like I said, she broke my spirit. She broke my spirit about, I don't know, 6 months. Yeah, 6 months. So I would say she broke my spirit about a year into the relationship. Wow. So when I say she broke my spirit, I mean that I'm fighting with her, like knowing she doesn't love me, knowing exactly who she is for who she is, and we don't agree on anything. And I'm not taking no shit from her, you know. Until eventually I just broke. I just remember just being like, man, this is gonna be my life for the rest of my life, you know. And she doesn't care. She loves it. The fighting doesn't even affect her. It doesn't affect her like, well, damn, you know, we need to work on our relationship, see how we can work this out. It was like a game to her, and I realized that, and I was like, I'm in way over my head. You know, I cannot intimidate her. I cannot plead with her. You know, you cannot draw any sympathy out of her at all. I said, I'm lost. You know, this is it. She's not gonna change. And I just fell apart pretty much. So the person that I was before that was gone. You know. And so what would happen is that she would say things like that, like I spend too much time at home when I need to go out and get a second job or get us more money. And I would listen. Whatever she told me to do, I would do. Like a dog, like an obedient puppy or something. And I would do it so then I wouldn't spend as much time at home. Or if I was home, I'd be doing something. You know, I'd be working on my writing or working on my drawing or reading a book, something. And then it would be like, oh, come to bed, I'm lonely, you know, or spend some time with me, you know, that kind of shit, you know. Until they would get to the point where, oh, you don't spend any time with me and I'm lonely. And if you don't give me what I need, I might have to get it elsewhere, shit like that. Yeah, so that would just go back and forth. So then I would be like, oh, okay, well, let me drop what I'm doing and spend time with you. And it would just, oh, you're not doing enough. And it would just, I'm telling you, back and forth like that, 3 years, back and forth. Just like that. And that's what led up to me taking that job. And I never told you what the deal was, but according to my belief, my faith, you have the option to take what's called a vow. You take a vow, and what that entails is that you would, you make a request of God. You say, God, grant me this, and I offer myself to you, pretty much. But you have to pay Him back in some way. And it doesn't necessarily have to be material. It could, some people might make it material. Say, make me rich, and I will give you 30% of what I make every year, whatever, to the poor, whatever, or you might make something more spiritual, where you might say, and I would dedicate myself to, feeding the poor, or whatever, to living poorly, or whatever. I'm like a Mother Teresa type of thing. So I had taken a vow, and according to that vow, you have to let the locks of your hair grow all the days of your vow, and you cannot drink you cannot be intoxicated. And you cannot deal with anything of vine, meaning grapes, right. Not pumpkin or nothing like that, but just grapes. So no wine, no raisins, none of that. And let the locks of your hair grow. And I had taken that vow, and not too long after I had taken that vow, she came up with this, you're home too much, and we need money. And my brother had a job offer that was going to pay me about $10,000 more a year than I was already making. But me and my brother didn't get along, and I didn't like him, and something told me, don't trust him to take any job, because I had trusted him with other things, and he pretty much screwed me over, And then I was like, no, take the job, but to take the job, I had to cut my hair, and you're not supposed to cut your hair. It says all the days of your vow, because you could take a vow for any period of time, for 3 months to the rest of your life. But it says all the days are in your vow, let no razor come upon your head. So I let them pressure me. I let them. I ain't blaming them. Pressure me to take in the job. She was also pregnant with Naftali, or Naftali had just been born at that time, my second son, my second child. And I cut my hair and took that job. And that was the worst experience of my life. That was the worst year of my life to date. The Most High, just chastised me in every possible way. The job was horrible. My brother treated me just like I thought he would. And Patricia was the worst she had ever been, excluding the last year of our relationship. Oh my God. I mean, just miserable. And I after that experience, it took us 6 months to break my spirit. Between those 6 months, that was 97. Between 97 and 99, when I had finished that job, my mind broke, literally. I actually heard it snap one day from the pressure of working that job, and the job was, just imagine, is like working for 3 companies in one. And they didn't listen to anything I said. If I told them, you need this, you need that, they'd say, they wouldn't do it. And then they would expect results still. And it was just horrible. And then she would just nag and nag and nag and nag and nag. Say, go out and get money, because we need money, but then come home when I tell you to come home. And I couldn't do it, so I was being pulled, like, and then my brother would come along and just be like, if something went wrong and they said it was my fault, no matter how much I tried to explain to him, it ain't me, he wouldn't believe me. He just believed it was me, because I'm a fuck up. And so I was so, I cannot imagine being that stressed again. And my car, I had 2 cars during that time, and both of them broke down on me.
Oh my God.
So I was just driving these cars that were breaking down. I was traveling from Cutler Ridge to North Miami Beach. I would be getting up at 4 in the morning and coming home at all 9, 10 o'clock at night. And this is 6 days a week. I had to work 6 days a week because I couldn't handle the workload. I would go in on Sundays just to, catch up on stuff, And they would not get me the proper equipment that I needed.
It's just like me working at the theater, not getting up at 4, but I would have to get up at least 7 to make it to the theater at 10 and be there sometimes from 10 to 6, or if I got another show or something, coming home at 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. And she would be calling, where are you, when you're going to be down, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I guess that's why she says that she was alone, but she would always use that excuse whenever she would see me preoccupied with something else, But I never to my knowledge, I never neglected her nor the children. I always made time for my family. Always. And I know the only time I could actually vouch for her and agree with her in saying that she may have felt alone was when I purposefully set out to leave her alone and still be in the relationship. And that was towards the last year of our relationship, where I was just like, I don't want. And I told her to her face, I was like, actually I didn't even tell her at that time. Right when she was pregnant with Nahara, she pulled the same thing again. You need to get out and do it, because you're home too much or whatever. And I had it with her at that time. I had just had it with her. And this was already 2001. I had just had it with her. I was beginning to get sick of her, And so that was how I react. That was my reaction to her. I didn't believe anything she said. I didn't want to hear anything she had to say to me. I didn't want to take any of her advice. I was full of her. Or I was super saturated with her and her shit. So it's like, if she was like, oh, can you come to bed? I'm alone. It's like, fuck you. Suck a dick. I wouldn't tell her that. But in my mind, I would just be like, no. I was absolutely disgusted with her. But I knew I was wrong. In my mind, I'm like, this is wrong. You treat your wife this way. But I didn't know what else to do. Because you couldn't get any reaction out of her at all. It was just like, living with... It was like living in a box with an elephant. There's just no room for you anywhere. You have no room to move. If you go here, she squeezes you. If you go here, you get squeezed. You here, you get stepped on. And it was just like, well, what do you want me to do? Yeah. So it was like, well, you know what I'm gonna do? You stay here, and I'm just gonna go out here so I can breathe. Oh, you're leaving me alone. Well, you just be alone. I'm sorry. Oh, you're so mean. Well, I'm just gonna be mean. And you're gonna deal with it. Mm-hmm. It was that attitude, but at the same time, I'm like, man, you're being mean. Look how you're talking to her. And maybe it's you, and my family would be telling me, you're not putting your foot down, and all this little shit, Mm-hmm. So I was just confused still. So it wasn't until like I always tell everybody, I joined Kung Fu, and because of that Kung Fu class, and probably because a lot of prayer at that time too, I just really began to see her, and this time I couldn't help it. It was just like, it was almost like some synapses in my brain started to finally connect. And it was like, all your suspicions are not suspicious. They're real. You know, she's fucking with you. You know, what you thought from day one is really happening. And then I just left her alone. At that point, I just told her, I said, look, I'm sick of you, and I don't want to be with you no more. I'm tired of this relationship. You're using me. I know that you don't love me. You don't care about me one iota. So I don't know how we're gonna do this, but as far as I'm concerned, the relationship is over. And from that point on, I became very aloof, and I did leave her alone. And I would go out of my way to make sure, I would do whatever it took to make sure that me and Patricia Goose did not cross paths, living in the same house. And that was that. And I never recovered from that, nor that I wanted to. So she says that she felt alone. I'm sure she's speaking of all those different experiences, but to me, and my opinion of Patricia is that she's never alone. If you look at Pat, she's always surrounded by friends and family. But she will always say that she's alone because it gets her what she wants. You know, people respond to that. You know, especially if you're in a relationship. You know, and you tell somebody, "Oh, I feel alone." You know, but I tell you what, man. She felt alone. I felt very alone. I felt like, you know that feeling, and I've told people this before. You know that feeling like when you're not in a relationship and you desperately want to be in one, and you feel so alone. You feel like, gosh, you know, I wish I had someone here to hold and watch movies with and do things with and challenge me and I challenge her, and you want that, and but when they're not there, you just end up alone in this empty house, and you come home to an empty house, and you eat alone. That feeling, just imagine having that feeling and being married, and still feeling the person's there eating with you, and you come home to the house. But it's still that feeling of being alone. That's how I felt. 7 years. 7 years. There was not one, significant moment, I could say, like a significant period of time where I could say I really felt like one with her. I'm not saying that we didn't have our ups and downs and that we didn't have that good times, But those good times lasted, not, no time at all, maybe a month, 3 months the most in a 7-year relationship, And that's even worse because it gives you hope. Yeah. It gives you hope. Oh man, we're going good, Maybe. And then she just comes along and just says, what? You got hope? There you go. Pick that shit up. So nah, man, fuck her. She said she felt alone. I'm glad. I hope she ends up alone. I know that's a mean thing to say, and I'm gonna have to ask forgiveness for that later. But since you're bringing this all up and it's right here, to me, I look at her and I've never met a more evil person in my life. I've heard of them, like I've seen, video clips of Idi Amin and Adolf Hitler and shit like that, but I've never met them face to face, and when I look at Pat, I see the face of evil,
You don't put anything past her.
I don't.
You think she's capable of doing
I think that
anything.
she would eat her child if she had the munchies. Not even if she was fucking starving. I think she would rip her own child's guts open and feast upon it. If she didn't have some fucking potato chips. That's how I don't put anything past her. And at the same time, she's the same woman that would probably, take a hard labor job for a week just to put a child in a pretty dress. At the same time.
Yeah.
And just so she could say, I did that.
That's true.
I did that, And then you can't say nothing to her because people are like, wow, look what Pat did.
Look what she did. That's right.
But they don't know that behind closed doors, the kind of shit that she's filling that child's mind with at the same time. So no, I don't put anything past her. I'm telling you, she's the face of evil. When I look at her and everybody thinks that she's so cute, and I don't see cuteness, I see the anguline face of Satan You know, the way that everything, her fine features, you know, make all these shadows in her face, you know. And her little nose, her little, you know, straight pointy nose, and her light eyes, and her you know, all the angles that are in her face, you know.
It's true.
When I look at that, I just see wickedness.
Yeah.
It reminds me of images I've seen of the devil with a pointy chin and a pointy nose, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I see when I look at her. And she has this way of walking where she holds her shoulders up high like this, and she walks like that. She just looks like a vulture to me. And that's all I think about when I see her. I can't stand her. Can't stand her. Can't stand the thought of her.
Yeah.
At times, you know, most of the time. And the human being in me is like, but then she's just flesh and blood, you know.
She is just flesh and blood.
But at the same time, it's hard to imagine that a person, like, it's harder to imagine that you actually know a person that is capable of such devastation.
My question has always been, and I think it will remain with me for years, for forever maybe, is why? You know, like, why?
That's the wrong question.
If she's not interested, and I know that there may not ever be an answer for that. You can't answer it. She may not be able to answer it. She probably doesn't.
The last person that could answer.
She probably doesn't know why. Why, if you don't want to be with the person? Why go through that? She didn't want to be with you. Okay, you're arguing on your wedding day. You saw something in her in which you're like...
No, you let her tell it. She wanted to be with me. She's never said that to me. She's never said to me, I don't love you. I don't want to be with you. She's always said, I want you. I want our relationship. I will fight for our relationship.
And she loves you.
But she will say it. Everything else betrays that.
Right.
So...
The actions.
Her actions betray it, you know, everything. Because then she will pick me apart, you know. Then she will say, well, I don't like the way you do this. I don't like the way you wear that. Why do you have to be this way? I can't stand this about you. I can't stand that about you. And then you're like, well, wait a minute. So what can you stand about me? Because this is me. This is everything that makes me who I am. So what do you love?
She said to me today,
I love you.
That's why I knew this wasn't going to work because we had so many differences. She's like, you know, and you're just like Manasa. That's why they wanna, you know, get with you or whatever it is.
Yeah. I don't know who she has anything in common with. She'll find the reason. Because, I mean, think about it. She doesn't have any true interests. So what can she possibly have in common with anybody?
That's true.
She doesn't have any true interests. She's like a what do you call it? Like a I can't think of the word right now. Anyway, she morphs into whatever fits, you know. She's like a chameleon, you know. She eases into a situation and just takes that form, you know. So she doesn't have any true interest. She doesn't really want to be a singer, I don't think. Because if you really wanted to be a singer, you would study music. You wouldn't just sing. You know what I'm saying? You would actually study it. You would actually know maybe the history of it. You would understand a scale. You would understand a fucking note and a key. You would probably even know how to play a couple tunes on the piano. But she doesn't. It's just everything with her is just on the surface. And she just manages to make these beautiful landscapes on the surface. And that's all there is to it. So she doesn't really have any true interests. She's not really into any religion. She's not really into any music. She's not really into kids. She's not really into people. So she can always find a reason not to have anything in common with you. Always. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you're this religion, then she's the other. Plain and simple. Or if you are of the same religion, then she has a different point of view than you about how this is supposed to be done. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're fucking eating healthy, then, well, I'm eating healthier.
Yeah.
You know, and that we don't have anything in common. Because, I mean, she's 36 years old. She has 5 children by 3 different men and countless boyfriends. I'm sure she could probably climb to the moon if she piled up boyfriends on top of each other. And she hasn't been able to find something in common with somebody yet. Not even me, of her longest relationship.
Yeah.
She had nothing in common with me. You are just like me. So, and if you are this charismatic person, and no one can deny that she isn't, I'm sorry. She's charismatic, she moves into a crowd. Obviously, birds of a feather would flock together. So how is it that you seem to do this incredible feat of percentages and always end up with the man that is the most opposite to you, with nothing in common whatsoever? And me and you are of the same religion, Patricia. When we were together, we were the same religion. So what the fuck? We ate the same. Me and her ate the same, for the most part. You know, you've got a lot of kids, and I love kids. So why you don't do that homework with them? Why you don't teach them nothing? That's what I'm saying, you know. It's not, she doesn't want to have anything in common with anybody. She always just wants to have an excuse to be unhappy, period. And as long as she has an excuse to be unhappy, you know, it's never her fault. It's always that person who was in her life's fault. You know, she had no control. You know, she tried and she tried, and boy did she try, but it's because of you, you know. It's always somebody else's fault, you know. She blames her mother, she blames her father, she blames her brothers, she blames her sister, she blames me, she blames the children even. She even blames her children. The blame just doesn't stop, man. But you know what's obviously gonna have to happen one day is that all those people that she blames are gonna turn around and blame her. And at that time it's gonna actually be right. You know what I'm saying? It's only like it seems to me the natural law of things, the way that things will have to work, you know. If you're blaming people for the way that you are and you're never ever taking any accountability, those people are eventually gonna have to turn around and be like, well, damn, you know, it's your fault. That's when everything settles, that's what the truth is gonna be. And James is gonna be like, you fucked up my life. And Donovan's gonna be like, you fucked up my life. And Max is gonna be like, man, you screwed up our parents, you know. And her mother's gonna come out of the grave and be like, you treated me like shit. You know what I'm saying? Her sister the same, you know. And my kids are gonna grow up and be like, damn, you know, you did not care about us, you know. And she's gonna have to deal with that one of these days. But her mind ain't there right now. Her mind ain't there right now. Her mind is. I think what she's really what she's concerned with right now is that she wants to embarrass me. I think that she thinks that she's gonna somehow, by osmosis, become successful with this music thing, or in business, or find a rich guy that was gonna take care of her, maybe take the kids away, and then she will be able to say, "See, I told you you should not have left me, Manasa. You know, look at what I'm doing now." Because every chance she gets, that's what she does. Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now, Manasa. And I think that is her whole focus, is that she has to be able to prove that I was wrong for leaving her. You know, because she knows why I left her. She knows that I didn't leave her because of pussy. It wasn't like, well, I want white girl pussy, now I'm tired of black girl pussy. You know, she knows it wasn't that. She'll make it that. She'll tell people that's what it is. But she, in her heart of hearts, knows when she's lying alone in her bed, she knows. So that's why she has to get to a certain status level so that she can gather the people together and be like, see, look at me. You know, I'm not what he says I was, obviously. And now without him, look how I made it, you know? That's all. That is all.
Stop it.
Yeah, man.
That's just good stuff, man. It's good because it's the truth. You know,
Well, I don't know how much. It's my truth, you know what I'm saying? Because you really just asking me my opinions and stuff.
True.
It's our truth because we know her, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I guess for anybody else that knows her might say the same. But if you don't know her, you ain't going to believe it. Ain't no way that all of that could come out of that little 5-foot-something girl. Sweet as she is. Are you kidding me?
She is.
Not Pat. Not Ellie and I.
Empress Ellie and I.
Empress Ellie and I. Are you kidding me? She's an empress.
That's true.
They ain't gonna believe it. And those are the ones that you least believe it from, you know. Those are the people. My brother's like that. He looks like Carlton, and you would never believe that, you know, Carlton would be capable of some of the things that he does. But,
Oh my God.
I'm sure that people say that all the time. Even in the Bible, you know, it says that when Satan is finally subdued, that people are gonna look on him and be like, "That's the man that did all this." That guy right there, and he's just gonna look so like the Wizard of Oz, you know,
Yeah. The guy behind
just
that.
unassuming. And she knows she's unassuming. She knows that her camouflage is excellent. So you know and she knows it, and her friends and the situation that we have found ourselves in proves it. That her camouflage is good.
It's good.
And I don't camouflage. For me, I get the brunt of it because I stand out in the rain. You know what I'm saying? And I just I don't care if I get wet. And I pay for it at the end, you know.
Yeah, you did.
But even though you got the camera on,
Good.
now this is a book that I had to create beginning September of 2004. Because that is when she began to file lawsuit after lawsuit against me, falsely. Because her whole intention was to take the kids from me. The first thing it began with was that, and I'm sure she tells everybody this, I know she tells everybody this, because she even told my kids this, was that when I left her, I left that house in April. Maybe like the first week or the first 2 weeks in April of 2004. Mind you now, and check the records, the girl never worked. And if you do find any job that she's ever had after she married me, or at least even met me in 1996, you will find that any job she had maybe lasted 2 or 3 months. So now, these are the checks that I was writing.
Okay.
Look at the date, April 15th, right? This is me paying for the children's daycare. This is, this was insurance that I had to get on the car, right? Because I already had insurance on her fucking car, right? That I was paying. But she called the people and told them, don't put him on the insurance. Mind you now, I owed her mother mortgage money. And mind you, I did not have a car. And I said, Patricia, please don't do this because I won't be able to pay your mother rent, the mortgage. She didn't care. So I had to get insurance so I could get a car, otherwise I wouldn't be able to get around. This is, I don't know what this is. Oh, this is me paying the lawyer for getting the money from the house. This is another check, note the date, paying for the kids' summer camp, because they were only in summer camp at this time, their daycare center. Mind you, Pat's not working, so she's not paying for these things. This is $800 made out to cash. I cannot prove to you who it was written to because it was made out to cash. It's $800. But what I do have in here somewhere is a printout of who cashed this check. And hopefully I will be able to prove to you that it was Patricia. This was another check I had to pay. Had to do also with the house. Right? It was a lawyer that I had to pay. This is a check I made out to her mother. I wasn't living there at this time. This is April 15th. I had moved out of the house. I'm paying the mortgage. If you hear her tell it, I wasn't doing anything. I supposedly gave her mother a check. $900. Right? And this is a check made out to Patricia Goose, May 31st, for Can't really read it too good. It's either $300 or $500. I don't know which one that is. Can't tell. Oh, it's written out. $300.
Is it? 300. Yeah.
$300. Right? That's April. That's May. Sorry. Once again, paying for the children's school.
For kids. 17.
For Kids Sake Academy is the name of the school they were going to. For Kids Sake Academy. Another check made out to Patricia Goose for $350. Now, mind you, she's living in her mother's house. She doesn't work. And I'm going to prove to you in a minute that I was buying all the groceries and cooking for the kids. Buying diapers and everything. So you're going to look at this money and be like, well, $300 ain't much. But this was $300 and she wasn't doing shit. This was just $300 for you in case of anything. Because I was there doing everything else.
Oh my God.
Another payment for the kids' school. This was actually for them to go on a field trip.
180.
And she cursed me out for this. Don't ever send the kids, pay for the kids to go on a field trip at 9 in the morning. I don't want to get up at 9 in the morning. As God is my witness. As God is my witness.
Man. Oh my God.
Anything to just... Another check to Patricia.
Oh my
for
God.
$200.
200?
That's July. That's June.
That's good. Keep it holding it there. That's good.
Oh, keep hold. Oh.
Well, yeah, that's good because I can read it good.
Another check to Patricia Goose.
Like,
oh, no. This was actually when she took me to court, July 15th. She took me to court and I had to write her a check for $900. This was when the child support payments began. So this is proving to you that before all this, she was receiving money before she actually took me to court and told the judge that I was not giving her any money at all.
Oh my God.
And the rest of these are child support checks that I was giving her, right? I even kept these just to prove that I was paying my child support.
Oh my God.
Nah, let me show you something. Please tell me what it is that I brought it and it's in here.
God.
These are receipts. These are receipts. This is the
Has she ever seen any of this stuff?
No. She has never seen this because it has never come to court. This is the counselor, me paying the counselor for marriage counseling. This is, we got married in 1997. We got married in December of 1997. I had, probably after the first year, maybe 2, I'll even go as far as 3 years, I was on my knees begging her, please let us go to counseling, because she would complain and complain about me and the relationship. She never wanted to go to counseling. I even went to counseling on my own for about a month or 2. She did not come. She even thought it was ridiculous. But in 2004, when I'm like, I don't want to be with you no more. Please, let's go to counseling, Manasa. That's the proof right there. This is more. This is more of me. This is now. Look at note the date. See, this is the date when I'm supposed to be in a deadbeat. This is after I left the house, but before child support. I'm paying for not only my kids, but her kids, who was really my kid, Donovan, my stepson, for them to go. I believe this was for a field trip. Doesn't even say doesn't even say who wrote it. But this was for a field trip. This was for Kids Sake Academy. I remember. This is me not spending much money at least. Oh, this is me buying kids things for the kids. What is the date? Is there a date on here? Oh, this is August.
This is brilliant.
This doesn't matter. This is August. I'm not even use that.
This is brilliant.
I need some. This is August. This is where we get to. Aha! This is the good stuff. See, this is the good stuff right here. These are the receipts of when I was being a deadbeat. This is when me. I have these receipts of me going to Publix. Notice what I'm buying: groceries, bread, cola champagne drinks. What else am I buying here? This is honey buns and strawberry and banana. These are the Capri Sun drinks that you buy for your kids. You know what I'm saying? Soy milk. What else? Anything else? Yeah, you know, tropical juice and stuff. This is groceries. How much money did I spend? Not much. I spent, what? $40. And this was in April. Where's the date on here? You see it? April 30th. It's after I left the house. Why am I buying groceries? And why am I buying kids things? Because I'm going to the house after I left the house and I'm taking care of my kids. And giving her money on top of it. You saw that with your own eyes. This is me again, going to the grocery store on, when is the date? This is what, a week later? 2 weeks later? This is a week later. This was April 30th, and this is May 3rd. May 3rd. I'm going back to the grocery store to buy more juice, right? That's all I bought. And some oil, and some soy milk, right? So this is a person who isn't just buying groceries once a week and dropping it off, because obviously I'm there day after day and I know, oh, I gotta go get a little more juice because the kids drank it all up. So I gotta go back to the store now. This is me going to Walgreens. I really can't prove. Oh, here, this was like, I think I bought some crayons, some Spider-Man shit. I don't play with Spider-Man shit. This is for my kids. What is the date on that? May 6th, 2004. Here we go again. Cereal. And look at the kind of cereal. Apple Jacks, Corn Flakes. I don't eat that shit. What is the date? May 7th, 2004. Let us continue. I go and buy shoes for my children on, what is the date? Please tell me the date is here. May 12th. How much money did I spend? $75 buying shoes for my children. I am this horrible person. My daughter at the time, my last daughter at the time, the horror must have been about 2 or 3 years old. Here I am going to Eckerd's on May 14th at 8 o'clock at night and buying diapers for my daughter. You see what I'm saying? Now if this don't just fucking bring tears to your eyes, then you probably are just like Patricia. Here I am again, May 19th. Now mind you, I had just went to the store on, what was the date was on? I just went to the store 2 weeks ago, May 14th. Here I am going back to the store 2 weeks later, May 19th, and buying more diapers and pull-ups for my daughter and buying more kids things. Tropical Healthy Kids, right? Florida Natural Lemonade and shit, you know? More bread, Fruity Pebbles. How much money did I spend? $80.
Hold on. I gotta get all that.
$80. And now mind you, I'm not just buying shit, you know. Look at this. Make sure you note that tilapia fillet. What was I gonna do with that tilapia fillet? Cook for my kids. Where was their mother? God only knows. God only knows. From this time, as you see these dates, going from May 15th to July, this is me doing this and cooking for the entire house. Coming there every day. You see me here right now? It's right now 2:20 at night in the morning. I am at work. I would be coming from work at 8 o'clock in the morning. I would be going to school at 10 o'clock. I would get out of school around 4 o'clock and go straight to Pat's house, her mother's house. I wasn't living there. And this is what I would be doing until 12 o'clock when it was time for me to turn right back around and come back to work. So ask yourself, here I am. I'm cooking. I'm cleaning. I'm buying the groceries. I ain't even sleeping. I'm going to school, I'm going to work, and I'm still giving her ass $200, $300, just in case anything else happens to those kids. Tell me that ain't fucked up, man. Here we are again. Dandy Bear. And this is when? May 31st. So I ain't even sleeping. And I still find time to take my kids to fucking Dandy Bear. I am such an awful dad. I am such a deadbeat. Where do I find the time for all of this? How do I do it? What is the date? May 31st, May 31st. Same thing. Went to Dandy Bear. Here I am again. This is May 28th. So here we are now at the end of the month. Notice that I'm buying Pampers. Once again, just in case you think this is groceries that's just for me. And I want you to ask yourself too, while I'm spending $80 here, $40 there, giving her $200, giving her mother $900, where am I living and what am I eating? Nothing. I was starving. Starving. If I ate one meal a day, I was lucky. Believe it, because I am such an awful person. I'm so selfish. I leave her alone. I don't care. Look at me, and I don't even like people, and that's why I work. Look, here I am. Here I am again. We're now in July. We're in June now. June 16, 2004. What am I buying? I'm out there buying wipes again for my daughter and diapers. Okay? Here we are again. This one got messed up. But it is now the end of June. And what am I buying? Balloons, carrot snacks, strawberries, watermelons for my children once again. How much money do I spend this time? Not much, 30 bucks. Right? So I wonder, now you're probably asking yourself, well, what is Patricia doing with this money? That's a very good question. That is a very good question. Here I am again. Capri Suns, Sipper mug. Look at the things I underlined so you can see what kind of stuff I'm buying. I'm not buying stuff for me. This is stuff for my family, for my children, and a house that I'm not even living in. Look how much money I spent. 100 bucks on groceries. What is the date on that one? This is the end of June. This is the end of July.
So hold on.
This is when it ended. This is when all of this ended, because then she took me to court and said, I need child support because he abandoned me. He abandoned me and his kids. I've been dying for a level-headed, reasonable, God-fearing judge to see this shit. Dying. This is why I save all of this stuff. This is the reason why I save it. Because I'm just waiting for somebody to come here and look at the things that this woman does.
They don't see it, bro. They don't see it. They don't see it.
I have some... I don't know why I have this in there. Now, you were asking yourself, what was Pat doing with all that money? I'm sure you were asking yourself that. Right? Let's see. These are checks that Patricia was writing. These checks began when the relationship was already bad. Now, see, this is by the time I left the house. See, so something had to lead up to me leaving the house. This was what led up to me leaving the house. Patricia acting like a bitch. She writes a check for cash for $30. Mind you, she's writing checks and doesn't tell me what checks she's writing because she doesn't keep any track of her accounts. So while I'm spending these money, she's writing checks. What's she writing check for? Who will she write $30 in cash for? I haven't decided this idea. Right? This is her. She pays for the kids. Good mom. March 4th. She gotta pay that. She goes to Target and spends $138. That's a mystery what she spent. It could be good, it could be bad. If you take my word for it, she bought shit for herself. Because I remember. Then she goes where? To Out of Africa. Is that kids things? I don't think so. How much money does she spend? $100. What is the date on this one? This is March 12th. So this is what she's doing in the meantime while I'm in the house. She goes to Borders, I think this is Borders, and spends $73 on what? I haven't the slightest idea. Back to Target again. I guarantee you I never saw any of these things. But that's her signature. And she writes a check for $100 to her dad. I don't even know what that was about. Just writing checks. Just writing them. She goes to Publix, she buys $80 worth of something. I don't know what. Publix again. Here. Here's a good one. Natural Cosmetics. How much does she spend? $20-something. 30-something dollars. It's May 31st. This is just to show the things that she's carrying on with. Oh, this was a check that she wrote to the counselor that she never wanted to go to. Right? And those are just light things. Those are the light things. This is it. This is her plea for temporary relief, right? This is the day she got it. The 1st of July. It didn't actually go into effect until the 15th of July. She needed temporary relief, y'all. Relief from what? What does she need relief from? What was happening to her that she needed relief? It's crazy, man. It's crazy the things that we put ourselves through. And I have, man, too bad this stuff isn't better organized. This is me. You don't have to even look at this. This is me keeping, because she tells so many lies about the things that go on. I actually had to keep a diary so that if ever went to court, I would not forget the things that she has done. Now, do you think that's a lot of things? That's a lot of things. That's a lot of writing.
Damn.
The diaries that I had to keep. This I had to get. I actually had to go down to the downtown library so that I could prove that on September 1st was when the hurricane hit. Why? Because Patricia filed a restraining order against me, and I'm gonna find that for you, that one, saying that I came to her house on September 1st and put up shutters on her windows, not because I was concerned that a hurricane might come and blow my kids away, but because I was stalking her. Right? This is this woman. Let me see if I can find that. Now, I have some very interesting things in here, you know. Some very interesting things here. This is a good one for you.
God.
I don't know where that, I don't know what I did with the receipt that showed her taking out $6,000 out of her account. I don't know where that is off the top of my head. I had all this stuff organized a certain way. Okay, this is it. Oh man, this is the one right here. This is the injunction that she filed against me. Let me see if I could find the original one. Because the original one says the kind of why she filed it.
Shit is blowing me away. It's blowing me away.
Is this me? This is me. Oh, this is her. What is this? Man, I want to find the one that shows her statement, why she needed to file an injunction against me in the first place. But it's not in here, I don't think.
It was just good getting this footage of you just flipping page after page.
Yeah, this is the actual injunction. I mean, if you want to take a look at it, you know, this is her filing a restraining order against me, motion in order to extend temporary injunction in order to appear in hearing. And I don't have the original here, but the reason why, what she said was, this is the reason why I have this, was because she said I came to her house and that I was stalking her and that I had been showed up in other places and stalking her. I don't know what those other places were. And that I had beat her up in the home in the past. Now, she's saying I beat her up in the house in the past, but yet there is no police record of me ever beating her, which I find odd because Patricia loves to file police reports. These are all police reports that have been filed by Patricia. Notice the date. This is November 2004. Let's see if it puts a name on who filed it. Yes, juvenile victim. Let Let me see if it has a name anywhere so you can get an idea of who's following this. Yes, here it is. Person reporting, Patricia Goose Lockwood. Right? Now, I will be dramatic again. Look through the pages for y'all. This is also Patricia Goose filing another police report. What is the date? August 2004. I think this was actually me because she wouldn't let me see my kids. No, this is me. I'm sorry. This is me. Look at the incident. I was dispatched to the above location to a child custody dispute. I made contact with, that's me, number one, and stated that he and his ex, he just puts comp to, which is he names the person here, Patricia, are going through a divorce, and that he was unable to pick up his children because she removed him from the emergency contact card. And I requested police to come to the scene. This is the woman who says that I am a deadbeat, that I don't want anything to do with my kids, yet she removes my name from the contact card so that I cannot even pick them up from school. This is the first day of school. Look at the date, August 24th. Being a good dad, just want to see my kids. And then she turns around and tells the kids, he didn't come pick you up because he doesn't love you. That was me filing that report, though. This is Patricia filing a report. Yeah, this is Patricia. Patricia filed another report.
This is too much for me.
Maybe this is me. No, this is me. Oh, this is me. I'm sorry. Once again, this is me filing a report. Look at it. It says, phone the police for assistance in retrieving property from the residence, and as well to visit his minor children. No criminal acts occurred during the conversation. So I had to call the police just to go and see my kids. Am I lying? I don't think I'm lying. This is July 28th. I had to call the police to see my kids, and you know the police treated me like I was the criminal. I called them to assist me, but they ended up assisting her. They gave her a pamphlet on domestic abuse. Right? Now here is Patricia now filing a police report against who? A criminal that broke into her house? No, her sister. She's filing a report against her own sister. This is 2004, January 4th. What does it say? It says, Patricia Goose, C1, and her sister Sonita Goose had a verbal dispute and over personal issues, and they stated the dispute will be resolved peacefully. But who called the police? Patricia called the police on her own sister. Tell me this is not drama. Drama. Once again, Patricia calling the police. Why did she call the police? She saw an incident in the street that concerned her. She saw a woman, an unknown female, fall out of a van that was parked outside of her residence, and two males got out and helped the female back into the van. Yeah, she's being a good Samaritan there. But she's calling the police. This person loves to call the police. Called the police on her sister. She called the police on me. She called the police when she saw a strange incident. This goes back to 2001.
Jesus.
She called the police again.
Jesus Christ.
This is Patricia Goose. Why did she call the police? She called the police on behalf of someone else? I'm not really sure. Let's see what it says. It says, see continuation. So he responded to the incident because he saw a girl that was forced into a red car. Man, she sees all these strange incidences with people being forced in cars. So she called the police again. She's being another good Samaritan. Nothing wrong with that. Here's something from 1997. She called the police again. There's her name, Patricia Goose. Why was she calling the police? It's hard to read, but since I've read this umpteen times, I noticed she called the police because she heard a strange sound outside her door. And that she noticed a crack somewhere on the wall or on the window or something like that. So she called the police, and he walked around the premises, and he found nothing wrong.
Now this is the one who says, I don't want to pick up my children from Babylon's door, the police station, but every 5 seconds she's calling the police. Babylon burn.
This is from 1996. Patricia called the police again. Why did she call the police?
She lives in fear. She's afraid of herself.
Let me see. Victim stated that she left the classroom and leaving the listed bench behind, that she returned and was gone. Unknown subject took her pouch. And she called the police on her teacher because she thinks that her teacher stole her purse. Now that's what I'm allegedly. Let me just try to read this. I'm not. So she left the classroom and leaving the listed pouch behind. When she returned, it was gone. Unknown subject lifted, I guess, or unknown subject took listed pouch. Victim asked teacher if anyone had turned it in with a negative result. So somebody in her classroom stole her pouch and she called the police. Once again. That's from 96. This is from 1994. She called the police again.
How do you get on this stuff?
You just go down to the police headquarters, you give them her name, and they will give you every report that she has filed or has been filed against her. She called the police again. I'm not even sure why. She called the police. Somebody named Xavier Muhammad is involved.
Why the hell would she do that?
Oh, I think she called the police on her landlord this time. Because he let people into her apartment. He was trying to show her apartment.
Burglary.
Oh, it was a burglary? Okay. So she had a burglary and she called the police again.
What's up with that, man? Something's not right there. Like, no. Something's not right. Like, I don't know anybody who called the police that many times.
Now, that was August 6th of 94. And this is August 10th of 94. She called the police on August 10th of 1994, and then she called the police 4 days earlier about something else. That somebody was watching the house for her, and for 2 weeks, and the landlord had been bringing people in her apartment to check it out because they were gonna rent it out, and she called the police.
It's nuts, man.
Yet I have yet to see the police report that has been filed against deadbeat Manasseh for kicking her ass. Where is that police report? I have seen you've been robbed, you had a fight with your sister, you heard a noise outside, you saw strange incidences, your landlord let people into your house, and yet I have yet to see the police report when I flipped you over the head when you were pregnant. What is going on?
Man, what the hell? What is this?
What is going on?
What is this, man?
This is Patricia. This time she was not Patricia Goose. She was actually Patricia Orridge. She was married at this time.
Ooh.
And this is from 1992.
Ooh.
September 20th, 1992. She was out on Washington Ave on Miami Beach, and she called the police again. Why did she call the police? She stated that her husband was with her at the above listed location, and when he told her he was going there to park their vehicle and to pick up cigarettes, and he didn't come back. I wonder why he didn't come back. She called the police, called the missing persons report. Then she called the police. Let me see, that's the same incident. I must have 2 copies of that.
Patricia Orridge.
Orridge, that was Donovan's last name. She changed his last name from Orridge to Goose. She didn't want him to be associated with his dad. And that's it. She has police reports going from, dated back from all the way back to 1992. And this is just the latest that I've gotten. There's more, actually, from what she's filed on me and Jennifer. I just don't happen to have it here.
What's up with that? I mean, I'm serious. What? I mean, trouble follows her everywhere
she follows
she
trouble.
goes.
She follows trouble.
She
everywhere
follows
it
trouble.
goes.
That's true. She can't leave trouble alone.
Her in trouble. I think that's the longest lasting relationship she's actually ever had.
It's true.
I think her and Trouble might be having some kids together pretty soon. Yeah, she's pretty loyal to Trouble though. She's faithful when it comes to Trouble.
Oh my God.
That's Patricia. And see, because I didn't prepare, I wasn't prepared. I was just gonna show this to my man, just briefly. And this is without being prepared. If I sit down and actually put these things in chronological order for you, this is her filing a restraining order against my current wife. This is from 2006. Another restraining order. Boy, she spends a lot of time in the courtroom without being a lawyer. She's filed several. This is April 2019. This is April 26th. She tries to add on to that restraining order. Here we go. Motion for extension of restraining order based upon violations and continued threats of harm. She got the restraining order, now she wants to extend it. And it's too bad I didn't bring Jennifer's old phone to show you how the day that she came and filed this original restraining order against Jennifer, she sent Jennifer a message saying, "Your judgment I go red, bitch. No, your judgment I go red, whore." It shows up half an hour later at my doorstep, starts an argument, and I have the police report for that, and I would like one day you're gonna read it for the camera. So you can see her friend said actually occurred, and what the police officer wrote as far as who started it, who started the argument, and who the argument involved. And just based upon that, she was able to get a restraining order. And if you read the report, the police officer says that Patricia came and started an argument with me. Her friend corroborated that by saying Patricia came and started an argument with him, and he argued back with her. He yelled back at her. And with that, she managed to get a restraining order, even after threatening her.
Jesus Christ.
Here, this is what I wrote in my diary. I don't see the date on this one. Oh, I wrote it, I handwrote it. It's Monday, September 6th, 2004. It says, Jennifer called me at work. She said that someone was calling our number. Oh, and she thought it was, that's the wrong one, because she thought it was Pat. This is at 11 o'clock. And my mother called and said Pat was trying to reach me on my cell, but didn't want to talk to Jennifer. She said that Pat told her she isn't feeling well and needs me to take the kids. Needs me to take the kids. This is already September. She already actually filed one restraining order on me because I was abusing her that actually never even went to trial. And remember, before this, I'm a deadbeat. She wants me to take the kids. My mother said Pat was only calling. My mother said that Pat only calls when she needs something. She won't let you see the kids at school, but now that she's sick, she lets you take them. Mind you, this is right. Because this is Monday, September 6th, and you remember from the police reports that I had went to the school with the police because she took me off the contact list. I couldn't see my kids. It's a good thing I kept this diary.
You need to go to court.
Boy.
You are ready. Do you know that? Do you know that you're ready to go to court?
I know I'm ready. I've had this stuff for years. Just waiting for the proper moment.
I think the moment has come. The moment is at hand. This is unbelievable, man. This person is not saying that she's not sane just lets her off the hook. But this person is methodical and is determined to destroy. I gotta stop. I gotta stop.
That's why Patricia would always use the word abandoned. She's smart in the way that she uses her words, don't you think? She didn't say I left her. She said, oh, I abandoned the family.
Yes.
And people just immediately you're drawn to that. It tugs at your heart. Oh, he abandoned you? He didn't just leave you. He abandoned his children too. Like, yeah. And so that would tug on me too. I'd be like, I abandoned my family? So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And you feel bad, and I would feel bad about it. I'd be like, damn, and here I am, I just added to the statistics, Here it is, I just created another, broken family, another black single mother, and here I am, another father, weekend dad, And the most I can do is just to make sure that I'm not a deadbeat, Make sure that I'm not the kind of father that doesn't pay child support, doesn't spend time with breathe my children,
Right.
And then, you know what I'm saying? So that's the sad part of it too.
Yeah,
I know a couple guys already that, like one guy, I know, he hates his relationship. He despises his wife. He thinks that she's cheating on him left and right. Doesn't believe that she loves him. But he was mad at me for divorcing my wife because he said, look what you're doing to black family. He goes, now I look at you differently,
Mm-hmm.
But he can't stand his wife. He won't even go. He purposely went and got a job that would keep him away from the home for weeks and months at a time.
Wow.
Just so he doesn't have to deal with his wife and children. And then what he's doing is the bare minimum, just to keep them, just so he can say, I'm still married to my wife.
Right.
In the meantime, his children are slowly beginning to face him and grow apart from him, and he doesn't even realize it. But I know it because I'm also friends with his wife.
Mm.
So I hear both sides.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's just horrible. It's just horrible. Like I know a couple of guys like that. Even my boss is like that. He hates and despises his wife. He says that if he could, he would kill her.
Oh my God.
But he won't divorce her.
Wow.
And he's Latin, and the Latin community suffers from the same problem. The only race of people that seem to manage, as far as Georgia, seem to manage to keep their families intact are white people, and maybe some Chinese,
Oh, definitely.
But the Latin community, they have the same problem, and he says that he won't do it because his family doesn't believe in divorce. And he has to keep the marriage together, but he can't stand it. He can't stand it. And as a matter of fact, he left her in New York
Oh my God, man.
And she's living in New York, and it's coming time for her to move down here with the kids. And he's like, I don't even know if I can handle it. He goes, he thinks that what he's gonna do is sell his house and make her move into an apartment next to her parents. He said, I'm thinking about giving her back to her father.
Giving her back to her father.
To her father with the kids, but still stay married to her.
Wow.
Just so he could say that he did not divorce. I'm telling you, and I have a sister going through the same thing. She has an abusive husband. He's abusive physically and mentally to her and her children. But she won't divorce him because she was like, everyone in our family has been through a divorce. And I want to be the only one who hasn't done it. I don't want to be like my mother. She has a daughter, a 16-year-old daughter that refuses to stay home because the father is so abusive. She cannot keep her in the house, and then one day the girl was gone for 3 weeks, and she finally managed to catch her, to trick her into coming home somehow. She got her home, and that girl said, "You have me home now, but I am not staying. As long as you are with him, I'm not staying here." And she still won't leave him. Still won't leave him. Because she doesn't want to have a divorce under her belt.
I don't know, man. I just don't. I can't make heads or tails out of the whole thing. I really don't. I really don't. And
it just comes down to straight up. It's a mind fuck because it's like you hear statistics about relationships in general. 50% of relationships end in divorce. And then and when it comes to black families, 80% of black families are single families.
yeah.
And I think it's like for Latinos, I think it's like 75% or 73%.
Not even, man.
Whereas for white families, 80% of white families are intact, and only 20% of them are single family households. So you hear that statistic, both of those statistics, and so then you make a bad choice in your spouse. You're like, oh, you just want a family, and you see a nice girl, and you date her, and you already have bad training in how to date.
Right.
How to date, period. So you go off with this person. And then you feel stuck because you're like, damn, I don't want to be another statistic.
Yeah.
But really, to avoid that, is just simply make sure that you make the right choice in your spouse. It just really comes down to that, and make sure that you have, certain things that you're willing to pick up with. I don't care how little it is. I don't care if it's like, I don't want a woman with a big nose.
Yeah.
Don't marry a woman with a big nose. Or if it's like, I don't want to marry somebody that's of a different religion than me. Don't do it, because it will eventually cause a problem. It will eventually. And if you know that you're the type of person that just can't handle it at all, then don't have the strength not to get into a relationship. But when you do get into a relationship, you gotta be resolved on the fact that you're gonna do whatever it takes as a couple to keep it together, not this one-sided thing where one person is doing it all. And you gotta know that you're with the person who wants and desires a relationship. Like even with Jennifer, I actually made sure what kind of relationship her parents had. And what kind of example she had, not just from her parents, but from her entire family. And there's only one divorce in her family.
Wow.
And her mother is totally supportive of her dad. They don't have the best relationship in the world, but they cherish the relationship that they have.
Yeah.
And I was like, good. That's the example that Jennifer got, She has an aunt who has been married. How long has Elena been married to Philly? Like 30, 40 years, right? Because they're in their 60s. 46 years they've been together. And you go to her family and it's just that. They've been married. And they're happily married, It ain't no farce.
My grandma.
It's her grandmother.
She was married 3 times.
Married 3 times.
Both her husbands, first husband, passed away.
Yeah. Her grandmother stayed married to each of her husbands until they died.
The last husband was a cheater. She dumped him. And she said, I can't get married again until he dies. Because I don't believe in getting married unless our husband dies.
Right. So she has that strong moral foundation. Number one, but I know that she ain't a fool. I know that she's the type of person that if something is going on in the relationship that's hurting her, that person's not willing to change, let go. So I looked at all those things and I was like, well, this is obviously a family where she was raised to have respect for men. She wasn't taught to hate men, where like Patricia was taught to hate men from her mother.
Right.
Because her mother hated her dad.
Right.
You know, and that was obvious. And that was something that I saw it, but I didn't see the flag. I just thought for whatever reason that people are not a product of their environment. I don't know why I thought that, but people are a product of their environment.
It's true.
You gotta watch to what degree, you know, that they are affected by that. You gotta see how respectful they are. All those things go into it, and it's just sad. When people get into relationships,
Some people just get into relationships to let out their frustration and anger, huh?
yeah. Some people are just afraid of being alone. They don't even care. Like I have another friend, a girl, a female. She doesn't even care what kind of man you are, as long as you're clean, a clean person. She don't even care if the guy cheats on her.
What?
As long as he's not abusive to her or her children, and he's clean, she'll stay with him. Because I remember saying to her, because this was already like her fifth relationship, and she had two daughters, and her daughters would complain to her about her not spending enough time with them. You know, and I'm really close to her daughters. Her daughters are a little younger than me. So they would be complaining about it. And I remember talking to her, I was like, why won't you, after you break up with these relationships, just, you know, say, okay, I'm not going to get into a relationship until my daughters are grown. And her daughters were almost grown. They were 16, you know? 16 and 14, I think. I said, why can't you just take a break for a few years?
Yeah.
And wait till they're grown and then get into another relationship. She goes, I can't stand being alone.
Wow.
I was like, wow, you know? And these are flags. These are flags that you gotta be like, you know, that was another flag. I think Patricia has the same problem. She does not want to be manless. It's some kind of, I think she thinks, I don't know what she wants. Maybe she thinks it means to look sane to the world, you know, as long as she's in a relationship, that maybe she's a person worthy of being in a relationship, you know?
Yeah.
But I noticed that Patricia does not stay without a man.
That's what
Not
Nikki
even for
said.
a minute.
Nikki said that. Nikki said the same thing, man.
Yeah.
Like she said, sister, please, you know, try to be by yourself for a while. Be celibate for a minute, you know, for a long time. And she loved to pride herself on that too. You know, if I don't want to do anything, I don't have a problem being celibate and not doing anything when I'm in my zone. But I'm like, well, not hardly, because you're always in a relationship with somebody. And she was like, yeah, she's always in a relationship. She's always with some man.
Yeah.
Always with some man.
Even when I met her, she was in the church, and she still made sure that they had her dating a doctor. We got out of the church. She was dating several. And when I say several, and that was another flag.
Are you serious, man?
This girl is dating like 3 or 4 men at the same time.
No.
And she would tell me that it wasn't sexual.
She would tell them that they're what?
Even then, I didn't believe it. I was like, that's not true. It's not. You couldn't possibly.
She was saying they were homosexuals?
No.
Yeah.
No, she would say that it wasn't sexual.
Oh.
Yeah, but I know because she was, because at the time I was just her friend, but she would come by and she said, oh, I'm dating this guy, and I went out with this guy, and I went out with that guy, and she would just act like they were just dating. But to know Pat, you know, I think that she tried to lure men with sex, you know. And as long as I've known Pat, she has never, ever been without a man. Even after we broke up, it didn't take her probably a week or two before she was on the prowl, looking for a man. She goes to places where she knows that she will find a man. She goes to rallies. She goes to concerts.
She goes to plays.
You know what I mean? She goes to Bible study groups. And I'm telling you, it's all about
she goes to plays.
to find the young single guy.
She told me when she saw me in the play, she liked me because it seemed I had so much passion.
That's just a ploy. I'm telling you, she just knows what to say to butter you up. Whether it be true or not. It could be, whether it be true or not.
Right.
She just knows what to say, If I tell you that, I'm saying, man, Miss Sean, I saw you and I saw how much passion you had. Already, you want to talk to me? You gotta go there. Let's hear more about me, even if it's subconscious, You like somebody, you like somebody who flatters you, and that's what she does. She flatters you, she flattered me.
Right.
She's like, I see you, and I see. Well, I remember one time.
Well, hold on, Miles. Hold on. This is a very important document.
Don't do that, Penny.
I'm not gonna edit all this. Yeah, go ahead, finish.
Yeah, I remember one time we both had a friend that was dying of cancer. And when I say she was dying, she was pretty much skin and bone. She was, I was like, I think, when me and Pat were together, I think 2 weeks after me and her was dating, the girl died. That's how on her way out she was.
Wow.
We would go there, like, every day because we were good friends with her, and I was good friends with her mom because her mom was Trinidadian. And she was a single mother. And she was the kind of mother that she had her one daughter, she had her one relationship, and she never got into another relationship. She was focused on her child. And I remember, I would go there, and I would, just talk to her, and I remember Pat was saying, I know that you're just such a loving guy because I see the way that you are with Nikki. Her name was Nikki. I see the way that you are with Nikki, the way you touch her and caress her. So that you can be that gentle with me. And that just buttered me up. Even on the subconscious, I was like, you try to be modest about it.
Right.
But you can't help. You just stroke your ego, And this doesn't continue once the relationship begins. That's how I know it ain't real. After that, she tell you, I'm gonna stroke your ego. I don't want you to get upset. So get another compliment afterwards. All those little things are just key words that she knows will draw a man in, build up your manhood. Oh, you're such a hard worker. What man doesn't love to hear that?
Right.
And then what she do is she also will do the comparison thing. Oh, I love that you're like this because so-and-so's not like that.
Right.
And then you're like, yeah, I'm better than so-and-so. You even on the subconscious level, you and yourself might be like, I ain't in that. You can compare me to so-and-so all day.
Right.
But subconsciously you are. You're like, okay, but I am a better man. Maybe I am the man for her, because so-and-so couldn't do it.
Yes.
Here I am. I'm doing it,
It made me feel that way. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
She did it to me. She did it to me all day. And it would always be at a point when she knew I was fed up with her. And she knows she can tell when you get fed up with her. She won't say anything to you. She just suddenly change a little way. She will suddenly drop little words, I love that time that we spent together the other day. We should do that. And you're like, like maybe she's getting back. No more. She'll come up to me and be like, Mike says that you're more of a man than him. I know Mike is such an arrogant guy. He would never say anything like that. He's so competitive.
Right.
He would never say such a thing. He would never say, I'm more of a man than him. I don't think he would say it. And the Mike that I know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just couldn't imagine him saying something like that.
Oh my God. Yes, man. It's true. It's true.
Mike ain't like that. Mike would. Oh, okay. Yeah.
What?
Right. Yeah, that's true. I can see that happening. Yeah, so she would do things like that, you know, like one time we were breaking up because I threatened to break up with her like 3 times. One time she put me on face, and it was
Wait a minute. What did you say? You broke up how many times?
3 times. Threatened to. I told her, look, I can't do this with you anymore. You know, at least 3 times. I remember 3 significant times where I was just like, and the third time being the last time. Before I would say 4 times because before we actually got married and before she was pregnant, before we knew she was pregnant with Sayana, I broke up with her. Got back together because of Sayana. I broke up with her again right before she broke my spirit. Sayana was already born and we were already living in our apartment. And I was like, I cannot be with you, woman. That's it. It's over, you know. And she immediately just went about doing because she knows what she's supposed to do. She knows what she's not supposed to do. That's the sad part. She knows what I can't even say she knows what she's supposed to do. She knows what she's not supposed to do.
Right.
To be a good woman. So she stopped doing those things immediately. And she would say things like, well, you know that I've never had a man like you, and you know that it's just that, you know, so-and-so did this and that to me, and I'm so glad that you don't do that to me. And all those things that could make you feel sorry for her and butter you up all at once because 2 birds with 1 stone. The last time I broke up with her was the last time I was like, and once I broke up with her, then that was it, you know.
Right.
And then eventually it just led up to 6 months later, not even 6 months later, maybe 3 or 4 months later, me actually, no, it was 6 months. To me actually just leaving the house, you know. But that was like the last. But the time I was like, I saw her pattern, you know. Break up with her, and then she tries to. Man, that girl, I wish that you could have been there for Pat pulling out the arsenal to try to keep me because she knew I was gone this time. And she just saw all her ploys just falling flat. She like, and to the point where she was like, she was even being honest. She was even just telling me all the things that she was doing to me, knowingly. She was like, I was pushing you.
Yeah, that was this whole thing.
You were gonna be this certain man, and I wanted to prove that you couldn't be.
To prove that you couldn't be it?
That I couldn't do it. I'm telling you, she lost it. She lost it. She was trying to do whatever it took to keep me. And she knew that I was a man that loved honesty, that wanted to get to the bottom of a thing. Because that's the thing about Pat. If she wasn't so evil, she could be a good wife. Because one thing that she does, she's very observant. She's like a little computer. She knows. That's why she said to you, and she would say this all the time. She would say, she thinks that she knows me. She thinks that she knows what I will and won't do. She thinks she can predict my next 3 moves. That's why she said to you, Jennifer didn't write that because Manasa wouldn't write that because she's so arrogant that she thinks that she knows you. But to a point she does. She figures out your little patterns. She knows that you like the little things that hurt you, the little triggers. And she knows it, but the only thing is that she doesn't use it for good. She uses it for bad. You know, she uses it to string you along so that she can do the bare minimum. I'll tell you later, girl. Do your thing, man.
Wow.
Yeah, so when she knew I was leaving, she knew that I would want to hear truth. She thought that by her telling me the truth about her, that I would feel that she was confessing. But I knew she wasn't confessing. I knew it wasn't a confession of change. It was just anything that would make me feel that she was finally owning up. And she was like, no, you know, I remember one time I looked at you and I said to myself, I would never listen to anything that you say. And I'm sitting there like, why is she telling me all this? You know? And then I didn't listen to none of that. I was just like, I'm telling you, when I was gone, I was gone.
Yeah.
And she didn't know what to do. It got to the point where she was literally, if she would come and ask me something, she would have her head down. She would be shaking a little bit. She was like, because she knew she had no power over me anymore. And it would be, before when she would demand that I do it. You gotta do this. Why do I have to do this? Because if you're gonna be a man, it better get.
Yeah, she loves to do that, man.
She would talk to you that way. But But it got to the point where I didn't give a fuck what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't know what to do with herself. She would walk around me and she sometimes she would talk to me from a distance. If I was in the kitchen, she was standing in the living room, she wouldn't even come near me. She'd be like, Martha, I wanted to ask you something. I was wondering if you would, and I was like, oh, girl, what you gonna say? And she would start, she'd be like, could you go here? Okay, if I get to it, I'll do it. And I'll walk away. And that's how she would, sometimes she would talk to me from behind it. She would open the door and crack it. She saw I was in the hallway. She would open the door, there's a crack. And she's like, Vanessa. And I'm looking at this girl, I'm like, what is wrong with her, you know?
Oh my God.
I don't know, and she was acting like that because she doesn't know how to approach you unless she knows she has you under her thumb. Other than that, she's really just, under all of that, she's really a shy, insecure person.
Wow.
And I had broken all that down. I had literally taken away her power, which is really an illusion. That illusion was gone for me, and she knew it, and it scared her. It was like she was naked before me, and she knew it. And so every time she would talk to me, I'm telling you, Michelle, I'm telling you, as God is our witness, that girl was high as her body. She would talk to me, and she was acting like the way that she had me acting. The way I would just look down at the floor and scrunch up between people, you know, within myself, trying to hide myself.
Wow, man.
And that's what she became. And not because I did it to her, but because she no longer had that veil of authority and control and regality that she knew that was gone. So she would talk to me from behind the door. She would talk to me with her head down.
Oh my.
Her shoulders would come forward, and Patricia does not stand with her shoulders forward. She stands with her shoulders back or her head up. She wasn't doing that anymore.
Wow.
Anymore, man. She couldn't even look me in the eye. And I saw it. And at first I didn't understand. I was like, what is she doing? You know, like, what is wrong with her? Why is she acting like she's afraid of me, you know?
Yeah.
But I remember that one time after that, somehow or other it came up because she would always be after me, always after me. She realized I was leaving, and there was a Jennifer, she was just like running after me, and that girl don't run after nobody.
Right.
You gotta run to her.
Right.
She see me leaving the house, she would run after me. Where are you going? You know.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, what? I was like, what is wrong with you? I said, why are you standing over there talking to me? You know, like, why are you acting like that? And she said, oh man, I had it in my mind, and now my mind just got it. She said, Mommy, get her in. Oh well, you being bad, Mama.
She was kicking the cage.
Uh.
And the cage crashed.
Oh, I can't remember what it was that she said. She said, oh man, my mind just went blank, yo. God, it was so significant what she said at that moment, why she was acting that way. But beyond that, what I was really trying to get to was that I remember one of her last ploys was that she said to me, she said, if you leave, because I said to her, you're crazy. I said, she says, why are you doing this? Why are you leaving? I said, because you're crazy. You're just crazy, and I cannot deal with you. And you refuse to actually even get any psychological help. And she goes, well, I know I'm crazy.
Oh my God.
And then she goes, what do you think's going to happen when you leave? Because I'm going to lose it completely. I'm going to go completely crazy. She says, you were the only thing that was helping me keep even a semblance of sanity. Of course, she didn't use such a big word. She said, you're the only thing that's keeping me even somewhat sane. And I knew it was just another ploy. And I'm like, no, you're crazy anyway. I didn't tell her that. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, you're crazy because you want to be crazy. I ain't keeping you sane.
Right.
And I said, like, if I'm keeping you sane, then what the hell? What kind of person are you? You know,
Right.
in my mind, you know. And I was like, whatever, Patricia. I said, you can change if you want to change. You know?
Right.
And she goes, oh yeah. She goes, well, look at James. Is he sane? look at Donovan. Look how I ended up raising him. Because she was like, because I can't help it, and I need you. But this she was saying with arrogance. You know, this what she was saying because she was sure that would get me. And I was like, no, I don't care. You know. And just, I'm telling you, that's the kind of person she would go to whatever lengths it takes. That was the last time she tried to like say anything directly to me. You know, that would get me. Because once I slept with Jennifer, then her whole attitude towards me changed. She didn't really try to say anything to try to get me back. Mostly what she would try to do is just say, you know, break up with Jennifer, let us just be. We don't have to get back together. You can live where you're living. Let's just be able to go out like friends like we used to. You know, that's what she used to say. You know, but she's the kind of person that would just say anything. You know?
Hold on, Manasa. Hold on. Let me check the thing.
And you and I see the you know, the way that you're acting, and then don't let me get to you. And I respect you for that. That's why I'm treating you this way. That's why I don't approach you, you know, because I'm giving you this room. And that's why I talk to you like this, because it's hard. What?
Wait, say that again. She said she treated you like that because you were strong and you can handle it. What?
Because remember I was telling you she was acting extremely meek and submissive.
Right.
Right, you know, everything I would say she would jump, you know. And I was like, and I remember I was leaving the house. She would always ask me, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to us? She would always ask me that. And I'm like, I ain't doing anything to us. I said, what I'm doing is protecting myself, you know.
Right.
She goes, well, don't you see that I'm changing? Don't you see that I've changed for you? And she was like, you know, she was like, don't you see that I've changed for you? By the way that I'm behaving and so on and so on, and she was like, and I said, no, you only started doing this because I don't let you do anything else to me. She goes, no, and I said, the only reason you started to change is because you now start to see me doing my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing my own thing now, and I don't bother with you, and now you want to change. And she goes, no, it's because I see you changing, and I see the strength in you, and I know that you don't respond to my nonsense anymore. I can't remember it verbatim, so I'm paraphrasing. She's like, I know that you don't respond to my nonsense anymore, and it's making me change. It's making me be, and I realize that I have to be this way for you. You know, so basically admitting that all the while, you know, she knew that she was putting me through shit, you know. And she's like, I know, I see that. I know, I'm respecting that you don't put up with my shit anymore. You know, and I remember saying to her, I said, but Patricia, what kind of relationship do we have now? I'm not putting up with your shit, and you can barely talk to me. You gotta walk on you acting like you gotta walk on eggshells around me. And we just basically avoid each other. So this is how our relationship is. But this is like the ideal relationship that we can have. Is that I act strong and don't let your shit get to me. And so now you just tiptoe around. You act like you're afraid of me. And she didn't say anything. She just did one of those eye-patting things, you know?
Yeah.
Because all in her mind was just that maybe this will get to him. Maybe this will make him come back. And that to me is just so, like, it's so despicable. It's such despicable behavior because none of her changes are really to save the relationship, to better each other. It's all about whatever it takes, whatever the bare minimum is to get you back in the door.
Right.
So that I can then just go back to being how I was again.
No.
It's like whatever you do, just don't leave. Just don't leave. If I can just get you to stay, I'm not gonna change. I'm just gonna get you to stay. But I'm not gonna just get you to stay. And I was like, that is such despicable behavior because you know that if you would just change, then everything everything would be lovely.
Yeah.
If you would just take this as a you know, as a catalyst to change our ways, you know that there's something wrong with you and there's something wrong with our relationship, you know, and that it needs to change, you know, wholly, you know,
Yeah.
pervasively. But you won't see it that way. Because in her mind, she's like, I am not going to change. I will only change enough so that I don't have to be alone with myself. And that, to me, that's just such despicable behavior, man. That you would know what you got to do. And it probably takes a lot of hard work, and it probably takes a lot of, you know, trial and error, what have you, and mistakes, and then having to admit that you're wrong.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do that long term, you know. You would actually rather do what you know you're supposed to do, to keep the person there. Once you get the person there, you just go right back to being that despicable person that you know that you are. And then when the person confronts you with it, you're just like, well, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. You know, and since I had already been through that, and I had seen that, you know, clearly, I was like, none of that stuff was gonna work on me anymore. I was like, no, I don't believe anything that you say, man. So I think that she really is a rare person, man. The only people I've ever seen like her are, like I said, are people who are like, you know, who are heads of state. You know, these people are presidents and generals. Those are the only people I've seen that are as diabolical as her.
Fuck.
But she manages to have this diabolical mindset at such a small, minuscule level, you know.
Yeah.
Where she controls like small amounts of people and she fools small amounts of people. You know? Maybe if she ever got it into her head, you know, to do big things,
Yeah.
she would probably manage to be that, you know, and do that. But she doesn't, you know. Her thing is just, you know, I don't think she sees past her own nose, you know. And because of that, it's the reason why she's able to exert only that level of power, you know. But I think that she's not a born tyrant. I think that somehow or another, you know, she's just a tyrant in the earth, man.
Yeah. A tyrant that hopefully will fall soon.
Yeah, people gotta see the kind of person that she is. I talked to one of my best friends that's in my faith, you know.
Yeah.
And I was asking him, I was like, what do you think? You know, I just gave him a general scenario. I didn't even tell him the whole deal, you know. I just said, what do you think about this? I mean, because in the scripture it talks about not going about as a talebearer, not gossiping, you know.
Right.
And I was wondering, I was actually, after I had done the interview with you that night, I said, man, after talking to you outside and everything,
Yeah.
I was like, man, you know, what am I doing, you know? Am I doing something wrong here? Am I going about as a talebearer? Am I gossiping? By what I'm doing? Am I seeking revenge and stuff like that?
Right.
I put this scenario to my friend, you know, and he's a pretty stand-up guy, you know, and I said, and he was like, no, I don't think that's what you're doing at all. You're just trying to set the record straight, you know, and you're not lying.
Yeah, I can see if you were lying and making up things, but you're not doing that, man.
No, I'm not.